This video title is not clickbait. There are a lot of people calling for this prolonged dip or chop for the crypto market, and I'm going to present some data today that suggests this is probably not the case, and this is actually a bear trap. Let's jump in. Now, even if you don't know anything about charting, don't worry, I'm going to break this down and make it super easy for you. Also, nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm just giving you my personal opinions. So here's the deal. Here is what's going on. There are people that are looking at this pattern. This is a higher high, and then a lower high. And this is called a head and shoulders pattern. This is supposed to be the head, and these two are supposed to be the shoulders. Let me zoom in on this a little bit to make it easier for you to see. And this is not a good sign. This is a bearish pattern. This pattern suggests, yes, we do want to come down and the price needs to correct. People are also looking at, let me just quickly undo. I guess it's going to undo my changes. Very, very sad. But people are also looking at the fact that we have very plainly a lower high here, which is a bad sign. And we are really testing this support at about 91 to 92,000 multiple times. We are seriously putting a lot of pressure on this support line, which means that the price does want to come down. A lot of keen investors will also notice that we have a bearish divergence. Check this out. We have an increasing trend line here, but on the RSI, we have this decreasing line. This is another really, really bad sign. We also have a fair value gap at around this level right here. Now, all of these signs point to the fact that we need a correction, that we need a dip. Bitcoin price has to come down. Everything they've said so far is solid logic and solid reasoning. However, I don't think that everyone is looking at the bigger picture. There's a couple points I want to make about all of this and why I think that this may actually be a bear trap. I need to quickly make you aware of a tremendously useful tool. We have an AI trading assistant in our Discord where you can do /info and then any coin you want and pull up an info panel about it. And this will provide you with all sorts of different data that is essential. Here you get a description about it, so you actually know what you're buying. You get details about it, which can help inform your decisions. And we have a built-in tokenomics rating system where you get a rating. For example, Bitcoin gets excellent and a score of 94 out of 100. And Bitcoin has extremely healthy tokenomics. And this works with any coin. With this tool, now you can actually know what you're buying and know what coins that other influencers are shilling you to. Super, super useful. Make sure to join the Discord, but I do want to be clear, this is a paid feature, so do consider doing that. Here's why I think this dip will not be super long. Now, I need to make a quick, important distinction here. I'm not saying we're going to bounce from this level at 92K. I do think we're going to have a final flush. I think that we aren't going to have this long chop where we just go like this and just top for a long time without really doing anything. I think what's more likely is we go like this and then like this, back up, or maybe chop like this, back up, but not like this where we just go sideways. That I think is very unlikely. The main reason I have for thinking that is that many indicators are already appearing to be cooled off. Let's take a look at the MACD, for example. Obviously, we were way overbought back here in late November when the MACD and signal line were way over this zero line, and we also had this bearish sell signal. But since then, we have come down to correct tremendously already. In fact, this MACD line is under the baseline, and this signal line is almost under it as well. And we've already had weeks of a negative histogram. So we've already had this tremendous correcting period. The biggest, scariest problem would be if these lines were like over here instead of all the way back down here. So MACD is already suggesting that we are cooled off. If we take a look at the RSI, we see a similar pattern. We were way overbought back here, though. That was a month and a half ago already, mid to late November. But since then, we have come down. We're under the 50 line already. Now, we're not at this 30 line, which is a good buy opportunity. But we're certainly not crazy overbought and in need of a very long, extensive chop or correction period. That's just not what this indicator is suggesting. If this were way up here, like it was in mid-November, then I would say, okay, yes, we need a few weeks, maybe a couple months of this strong chop or correction to get this white line back down to the middle or lower half of this indicator. Even when we look at external indicators like the fear and greed index, we can see that, again, last month we had extreme greed at 84. But since then, we have just been correcting. We're already at 65. Now, that's still greed. That's still considered overbought / overvalued. But it's not like we're at 85, 90 territory. This is a lot closer to neutral than something like 90 on the fear and greed index. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, it's wonderful that we're not going to have super long, extensive chop, but I need specifics. What specific levels are we targeting, and how long do you expect this chop to be? So let me go ahead and turn on some indicators, and I know it's going to get colorful and crazy, but don't worry, I'll explain everything as I always do. Now, we clearly have a very strong support at 91 to 92 level. This is where the 50-day EMA and our strong support band meet, as well as the top fib line. However, we are getting so much selling pressure, so much retesting of this support band. I'm very much inclined to think that we are going to lose it. And I think a very realistic, totally reasonable target is right here. We're next targeting this next 100-day EMA / second fib line, which is going to be at about 85 to 86,000. I think it's absolutely realistic. Bitcoin comes down and tests these levels. And just so that you're aware, that would only be about an 8% drop from current price. That is hardly anything. This is crypto. You can see that in the stock market. Now, it is possible. Well, first of all, it's possible I'm completely wrong. We could totally come crashing down to 74K, 71K, 68K. And I could be completely wrong, but I don't think that's likely, and I don't think that's what our indicators are telling us. Now, can we lose this 85 to 86K level for Bitcoin? I think absolutely. I think it's most likely we bounce from this level. Maybe we wick under it and then bounce, but I absolutely can see us losing it and testing one level lower at around 80 to 81K. That's my next target. This matches up with the fib level, and that is under the 100-day EMA on its way to the 200-day EMA. And that, again, means that we have strong support there. I really don't expect to lose 80K. And I think it's most likely that we bounce from 85 to 86K. I do want to make one important note here, a follow-up. And my follow-up is don't wait. Here's the deal. If you go on Twitter, if you go on YouTube, you already know that everyone knows about this dip. Everyone already knows about it. Who is going to be tricked and caught off guard by this at this point? I don't think there's really that many people that are going to be totally shocked and panic sell or aren't already preparing for this. So I think if you're going to try to time the bottom at this point, I think if you try to sell at 89K or 90K and try to buy back at 86K, I think you're going to get screwed. Here's why. The market has a way of screwing everyone. This is true of every market. It just screws people. It somehow finds a way to never please bears or bulls. Many people are saying that we're going to bounce from here. Many people are saying that we are going to 74K. So what's most likely to happen is we're going to dip, go halfway here. Everyone up here is going to freak out and lose money. And everyone here is going to sell and wait for lower. And then we're going to bounce from here and just go up like this. And so now both people got screwed. Both targets were missed. So I think you shouldn't try to time the bottom or top, especially in like critical moments like these. Your goal should be to buy an undervalued Bitcoin. DCA in at these levels over here. If we lose 90K, I will put a little bit more money in. If we hit 86K, I will put a little bit more money in. If we go back up a little bit, I will put a little bit more money in. If we continue losing that and go to 80K, I will put a bit more money in. Because it is so difficult to know what will happen here because we've got these critical levels and we have everyone seemingly already knowing about this. So don't try to make an extra 3% by buying $3,000 lower. Wait for it to be volatile. Just sit there and wait. Just eat the volatility and you'll be okay. I do one-on-one calls on my website, so if you want to look into your coin specifically, make sure to check that out. Make sure to join the Discord, link in the description. And I also have a deal with Gemini, the popular cryptocurrency exchange, that if you create an account using my link in the description below and trade $100 or more, you'll get $10 deposited into your account for free. So go ahead and do that. It takes a few minutes. You get $10 for free, and I get paid, so I think you should do it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.